Hello students, today we are going to start the next part of the nervous system. Already we have completed the CNS, central nervous system. After that, let's just move to the PNS or peripheral nervous system. So what is the peripheral nervous system? I have already told you. Towards the periphery, what we have the PNS. So this PNS, which is divided into two parts. One is the somatic neural system, okay, and another is the autonomic neural system. Okay, so what is the somatic neural system? Under the somatic neural system, we have the two types of nerves. They're called as the cranial nerve and the spinal accessory nerves. Okay, now what are the cranial nerves and what are the spinal nerves? The nerves arise from the cranium, that means from the brain, that is called as the cranial nerves, and the nerve arise from the spinal cord is called as the spinal nerves. How many cranial nerves and how many spinal nerves we have, right? So let's just see. If it comes to the cranial nerves, we have 12 pairs of cranial nerves, and how many spinal nerves we have? 31 pairs of spinal nerves we have, right? So after that, let us see the cranial nerves. So how can you remember the cranial nerves? Though it is not given in your NCERT, you have to remember. Okay. So let us see. If it comes to the function, you can take any of the book and you will get the function of the nerves. Okay. So that part I will not tell you. I will just tell you how to remember the cranial nerves. Okay. One thing. This 12 pairs of cranial nerves you have to remember serially, one by one. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th and 12th. You will not change, you cannot change their numbers, and these are written all in the Roman letter. Okay, Roman numbers. So how can you remember? You can remember this way. O3. Okay, O3, T square, AF, AG, VSH. O3, T square, AF, AG, VSH. You have to remember like this. And all these three, they are O. So how can you remember? As it is LPG, you can remember LPC. Okay, remember this way, you can remember easily. So what is the first cranial nerve? This is olfactory. What is the second? Optic. Third one is oculomotor. Then next one is trochlear. Next one is trigeminal. Next one is abducens, facial, auditory, glossopharyngeal, then vagus, spinal accessory, and last one is hypoglossal. Okay, so you have to remember. So in the exams it may come like name the three names of cranial nerves, 7th, 9th and 12th. So you have to remember the names of all, and along with that their functions are very much important. If I cannot write the functions, so you just go through any of the book, you will get the functions. So all of the functions there sometime can be asked. So remembering the cranial nerves one by one, one after another, is very much important, and their functions. So what are they? They are the cranial nerve. Now you need to know that if it comes to the cranial nerve, in the vertebrates, who develop how many cranial nerves, right? So the fishes and amphibia, they are going to have the 10 pairs of cranial nerves, but reptile, ape and mammal, we are going to have 12 pairs of cranial nerves. So this thing you have to remember. Right from the reptiles, 12 pairs of cranial nerves has arise, okay, from the brain. So they are performing a number of functions. The vagus nerve, these are asked. Function of vagus nerve, the function of trochlear, trigeminal, any of the nerve may come. So you can see these things, if you can remember, very easy, you can remember, and this may come in your exam. Okay, after that let's just move to the spinal nerves. So what are the spinal nerves? that the spinal nerves, there are 31 pairs. So from each of the parts of the vertebral column, the nerves will arise. So how many parts are there in the vertebral column? CTLSC, cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral and coccyx. So how many pairs of nerves will arise? There are 31 pairs. So what are they? From the cervical region, 8 nerves will arise. From the thoracic, 12. From the lumbar, 5. Sacral, 5. And coccyx, 1. So the spinal nerves, they are 31 in pairs. If you can remember this is enough. The functions of spinal accessory nerve will be not absorbed, will come in your exam. Then after that, let's just move to the autonomic neural system. So if it comes to the autonomic neural system, how many things we have? We have sympathetic and we have parasympathetic. Okay, at the time of emergency, sympathetic nerve will work, and at a time of rest or normal state, okay, parasympathetic nervous system will work. If it is sympathetic nervous system, we have 21 pairs of sympathetic nerve and we have 7 pairs of parasympathetic nerves we have. Let's just move to the next part, that is the functions of sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. After that, let's just see the functions of sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. Already I have told you with the nerves arising from the spinal cord, that are the spinal nerves, as well as the cranial nerves. These nerves, 21 pairs of sympathetic and 7 pairs of parasympathetic nerves, will make association, make synapses and carry out different functions. It goes to the different involuntary organs and perform different type of functions. So let's just see, there are different organs where it will work. Sympathetic nervous system will work at the time of emergency, and in the normal situation the parasympathetic nerves will work. So let's just see, first of all, if it is a sweat gland, whenever we are in the danger, then you know that we will sweat, right? So it will stimulate perspiration, but if it comes to the normal situation, that is the parasympathetic nerves, it will normalize, or it will not cause sweating. Okay, if it is normally, it is increasing the heat and temperature, then we will sweat, but at a time of emergency we will also sweat irrespective of the temperature, environmental temperature around. This will be the function of sympathetic nerves, right? Next one, the another function on the iris muscle. So whenever we see a danger, suppose nearby us there is a snake, then we will we will actually dilate the pupil so that more light can enter and we can get maximum information about the danger as possible. So that's why it will cause dilation of the pupil, but in a normal situation we'll have normal or constrict the pupil, so that in a normal situation, normal light if it enters, then it is sufficient for the vision. Next one, the digestive tract. Whenever we are in a danger, will you think about digestion, right? No. So what is happening? At the time of digestion, our peristalsis occurs. The food will pass through the digestive tract, right? So whenever we are in the sympathetic nervous system, obviously the peristalsis movement will be not possible. Whenever we are in the danger, we will not think about our food, right? So that's why it will slows down peristalsis, but whenever we are in a normal situation, we can normally digest, so it will carry out or stimulate peristalsis, right? Next one, about the salivary glands. Whenever we are in a danger, then we feel thirsty, isn't that? So why this happens? Because salivary gland closes, and that's why we feel the urge of thirst. Okay, so at the time of danger, the salivary glands inhibit the saliva secretion. It will constrict the ducts of the salivary glands, so that's why saliva cannot be released. So it will inhibit salivation at the time of danger. That means sympathetic nervous system inhibits salivation and stimulate whenever it is parasympathetic, right? Next one, if it comes to the function of liver, pancreas, intestinal glands, all of the glands will not able to work. If digestion stops, these glands will also not release their enzymes, right? So this is the function of the sympathetic nervous system, and if it is the parasympathetic nervous system, it will regularize, normalize the secretion of the glands from the liver, from the pancreas, and from the intestinal glands. Now after that, next one, just see if it comes to the heart. All of us, we know that whenever we see or there is an earthquake happens, we suddenly increase our heartbeat, isn't that so? Sympathetic nervous system quickens the heartbeat and it slows down the heartbeat by the parasympathetic nervous system. Next one, see arteries. Whenever we're in the danger, we require more energy. So if you require more energy, more blood need to pass to each of the organs so that we can work at the time of emergency, right? So at that period of time, whenever emergency situations are just started, then the arteries will get constrict so that with more blood flow the organ can get sufficient amount of oxygen and nutrients. So that's why if it comes to the arteries, it will constrict the arteries by sympathetic nervous system and dilates the arteries at the time of normal situation. That means parasympathetic nervous system will dilates the arteries. Okay, next one about the urinary bladder. This is going to be very important. So at the time of emergency, sometime it may happen that the urinary bladder relaxes and we can pee, right? So this can happen. This is a natural condition of our body, that the sympathetic nervous system relaxes the urinary bladder, and if it is parasympathetic nervous system, it will constrict or it will regularize the urinary bladder. So these are the different functions of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. I hope you understand. So this is all about the things you need to know. So the one part I left, that is the names of the cranial nerves only I have given, but the functions of cranial nerves I have not given. So you just go to see the book and you will remember. So if you can remember, that's easier. So you just remember it. This may be coming in your exam. So that's all about your peripheral nervous system. We have completed the somatic neural system and the peripheral nervous system. I hope you understand. Thank you. In the next video, we'll see the two important sensory organs of our body, that is the eye and the ear. So till now, this is all about it. Thank you.